We're starting the show off early here at Friedrich Wilderness Park. We're talking about bugs, birds, and how you can hear them even if you can't see them.
Animal acoustics, or as scientists call it, bioacoustics, is the study of how animals physically and neurologically produce sound and receive sound. So today we're going to talk about how birds make sounds and much more. When we think about birds, I personally think about feathers and flying, but also, of course, the sounds that they make, their songs, their calls, their little chips. And birds are unique. So unlike mammals, they have a special organ called their syrinx. So you can picture the syrinx as an upside down V that connects just under the bird's trachea. And that syrinx has two separate tubes that can act independently from each other. So the bird is able to produce two different sounds at the same time. And that's how you get all those crazy melodic songs that birds are able to do that humans could only dream of. So when you visit a park or natural area, the landscape isn't as fragmented as it is in an urban setting where you have houses right next to each other. So these birds aren't adapted as well as our city birds to being around humans. So you'll find things like vireos and warblers, blue-gray gnatcatchers, summer tanagers, and a whole lot more. If you're interested in learning about birds, the first thing you need to do is just get outside and start looking at them. So if you're at your house and you know what bird that you're looking at, let's say a cardinal, but you may not necessarily know that bird by your ear, you can get this Merlin Bird ID app. It's by the Cornell Lab of Ornithology, and it's free. You download a pack of what is birds in your local area, and it'll be like your whole geographic region, so you can use it when you're at the park too. And in there you can learn about like what males and females look like, how they're different, their range map, so where they are in the winter versus the spring, and then their calls. So that way, once you get familiar with birds that are in your neighborhood, you can use the Merlin Bird ID app and learn their calls and songs. That way, if you don't see them, but you hear them, you'll know what they are. So this time of year, get outside and connect with nature, because studies have shown that connecting with nature can lead to higher creativity, less stress, better concentration, and really just better overall health. So birds aren't the only ones making sounds out in nature. You might also hear a lot of bugs, and Molly Keck's going to talk to you more about that.
Thanks, Casey. Insects also make noises. They use different parts of their body to make noises. It's not on the inside, but on the outside. They might do things like rubbing their wings together, or rubbing their legs together, or rubbing other parts of their body also. Insects make sounds in order to communicate with one another. By and large, most insects that are making the noise are the male insects trying to attract the females to them. So sound is one form of communication that insects have, but there's others that they utilize. That's why there's only a small percentage of insects that use sound to communicate. And most insects are beneficial. There's less than 5% of insects that we consider to be harmful. Very few insects are actually venomous or poisonous or harmful to us medically. They know that they can't eat you and they don't want to hurt you. The most aggressive an insect will be is when you attack their house or they feel like their home or hive is threatened. So just stay away from social insects that have hives, and don't step on insects, don't grab them. And if they have the ability to sting or bite, they're not going to if you don't touch them first. There are some insects that are found in trees that will make tapping noises. Those are usually beetles. There are cicadas that almost make a metallic type noise like a chainsaw. There are many different species of cicadas, and every species makes a slightly different sound. So some summers you'll hear a totally different sound than you do the very next summer. Other sounds they might make is kind of a chirping or just kind of a, I don't know really how to describe it. It doesn't generally sound like birds. You listen to it and you know that it's not a chirping or a tweeting sound. It sounds like something like an insect would make.
Now that you know a little bit more about the sounds birds and bugs make, keep an eye and an ear out on the trails next time. For more information, visit our website and follow us on social media.